Good morning, guys, and welcome to our session 2 of Canvas for intermediate learners. We hope that everybody is doing well and you're safe from the storm that we had. We are very blessed in Lumberton this morning. Gonna give us a minute or so for everybody to get logged in. You should have received an announcement saying that we were going to continue with our schedule. We have so many other things scheduled, getting down to the grind of, school starting back. So we tried to keep the schedule as close to normal as possible. So you probably have already taken a class with us previously. So you probably understand that today on Tuesday is always our orientation where Cole, Lisa, and I actually go into the course and explain a couple of things and make sure everybody understands and get started on the right track with your course. This course is a continuation from the beginner learners, and you will be able to stretch your mind and learn a little bit more, adding on to what you learned in beginner. We're going to start out with our homepage inside of our course. And our homepage talks about the modules and topics that will be delivered inside of our course for intermediate learners. You're going to learn about editing the homepage and linking buttons, which is really a awesome advancement from the beginner. Linking the buttons does give you some accessibility into learning more about your homepage and how to connect those pages. You'll learn about how to create modules by using your instructional pacing guides. You should have connection to those or even the previous ones from a Canvas course. You're going to learn how to build a quiz. Now, I want to talk about that for a second. We actually have inside of here how to create that manual quiz. You'll also see a Google Doc which talks about steps of how to do it the old way. You'll also be able to look at the new ways of creating a quiz. So both of those are there. You'll look at how to add an external tool. This is a good way to add things in, such as YouTube and Schoolnet. So you'll be able to see that and learn how to add that to your assignment. So very beneficial to take notice inside of that module. It'll make life a whole lot easier. And lastly, you'll learn how to explore the student view. What do your students actually see on their side of the screen? At the bottom of the homepage, you have our contact information. It does have our email addresses as well as our work cell numbers. It is always best to try to email us or use the DTL@Robinson email address to email us, because we are in so many meetings and actually on calls that we may not be able to answer or get back with you via phone. So always email us and give us a little bit of time to get back to you. We are working with over 1,000 people. With that being said, just remember that this is a self-paced course, which means you work on your own at your own leisure. However, the actual courses, the coursework itself, is actually due by August 15th. So you have to have everything turned in by August the 15th. So with that, we're going to move into modules, and I'm going to turn it over to Lisa.
Good morning, everybody. I hope you guys are all safe. In the chat feature before I get started, we'll make sure coming soon they'll have the attendance for today. But as Stephanie said, we're going to go ahead and go into student view so you get to see what your students will see as we move forward. And we are in modules. And so starting at the top, we have editing the homepage and linking buttons, creating a sequence of modules. So here where Cole is at editing the homepage and linking buttons, we've sort of merged a few things together. So this is going to give you a little bit more of some choices of assignments inside these different modules and give you a little bit of the beginner course as well inside here. So there's still going to be a video where you'll be able to view the video by clicking on the link and then just making sure that you click submit with your text entry. So if we go ahead and click into one of those video assignments, you'll see that the link is sitting there right in the center of your screen. When you click on there, it's going to jump out to a new box so that you can view it in its own window. But inside there, you'll be able to have that text entry. And below, there's the video, so you'll hit play. Please make sure when you're here that you are signed in using your PSRC email. The access to the video will not appear with other than your PSRC email. And then as your submission to watching the video, we have a text entry box below where you'll actually go ahead and tell us either some feedback or the process of how you thought about the content that you watched. And you can type in that text editor. And then below, you'll have a blue submit button. Sometimes we get a little stuck on submitting assignments and it won't allow you to move on to the next assignment or the next module without submitting all your coursework. You did see a second ago some confetti. We thought that would be an awesome display for you as our students, but for your students as well. So as they complete different things, that confetti is a district turn on that we went ahead and did for you. So make it really user-friendly for those children and for our students. So here on the bottom, please be mindful. Please comment and give feedback on your process in the text editor provided. And you'll see at the top of your screen, there's a blue resubmit button. So that allows you to visually see that you have submitted. Now for us below, you'll see submission with a check mark. Just scroll down, Cole. It was right below. There it is. It says the check mark with submitted. It gives you the date and time and the submission details. To move to the next assignment, you would go ahead and click the next button on the right. So there you are. Moving to the next button is some things that may be a little familiar from beginner if you took the beginner course, where it gives you those bulleted printable type of directions to let you know how to go about doing each of the processes. When you're done, again, at the bottom, it says, please give feedback, and it gives you that option for that text entry provided. So if you go ahead and click, you would then see the same thing. You would click the blue submit button, you would get a text entry at the bottom and such. Go ahead one more time and click, oh, there you go. There it is again, so that you have that capability to type in your information and hit submit. And then lastly, the last one that we'll go through is the assignment. So after this here, we're going to hit the next button. So now as we move forward, since we're in intermediate, we're going to start giving you some different type of assignments. So these are answering questions. Cole, if we'll jump back over to modules, and we'll just go through some of the other modules that are in there to display some of the new things that they can do. So in the next module, creating a sequence, it looks like it has the same layout, video, doc, and assignment. On the next module after that, we have a link, which is going to jump out to a presentation so you can then see some good information. So that's something new. As you keep moving down, we put an external URL and how to use the external tools. So how to use Kami, the teacher and student side, that is an actual website link, so that's awesome. And then as you keep going down, you'll see a discussion board that is pushed out there. That's exploring the student view, so you can see what the students see, a discussion board on feedback. And then, like always, at the end, our housekeeping. We have completing of the course, the staff evaluation form. We just need to fill that part out. And that will then lead you to your certificate of completion for intermediate. Once you have that certificate, be mindful that you can email or print and send in to staff development to Myra Works to get your CEU credit of 1.0. And then we always like our bragging rights of the Canvas badge for intermediate. So then as you finish up the course, it is self-paced. Last day to complete is August 15th. Make sure you go ahead and fill out that staff evaluation form for it to then prompt to move you forward to the certificate of completion and the claiming of your badge. Now, as today, we have attendance. The attendance link is inside your chat, but you also have that capability to jump over to modules, into announcements. When you click on announcements, you'll have the capability to have your attendance form at your fingertips, as well as if you need to review anything from this introduction YouTube live stream, you will have the video link inside today's meeting. So there's the attendance link. The YouTube live stream link is going to be there. And once we end this meeting today, it will then upload and it will be there for you to review at a later date if you need to. If you have any questions as you're looking through the material, or if you've started it already, please feel free and put that information in the chat and we will assist you while we're on the line.
Lisa, I do want to add one thing.
Absolutely, go right ahead.
Guys, we wanted to share with you so you can make sure that you get the word out. There should be a file coming from us. It's probably going to actually go to your principal and then share out with you, but we have added Google Meet to Canvas, which means there will be the actual capability of you to create a Google Meet right inside of your course. So that is forthcoming, and make sure you share that with others. So we would just want to let you know that we're trying to decide how to best send out the information so that everyone gets it. Sayer, yes, you are able to change the locker picture on the home screen. And with that being said, there is some information coming about Bitmoji virtual classrooms and them meeting the ADA requirements, the Americans with Disabilities Act. And, you know, we see things about that all the time, about actually online, where people are saying, what does that have to do with ADA? Well, technically my question is, what does it not have to do with it? Because we are having to make sure that we meet the compliance, the federal compliances of our students with disabilities. And I don't even know how someone could ask that question, but with that being said, it is up to you with your homepage. There will be more information coming with that. You'll notice that we have not trained on any of that because we have a template right now that we're pushing out. And our main concern at this point is to make sure that we are supporting all students and that students are our main focus. And with that being said, we had to start out with basics and we had to narrow down what we were technically going to do at this point with our training and then shift to other things. So just because everything looks fancy on someone else's side, that is forthcoming. But what is forthcoming also is the appropriate way to actually put it inside of your Canvas course, okay? So we're not trying to tell people what to do. We're just making our focus be our students. And so that was a long way to say, yes, you can change it, but we do see a lot of things that are posted, and, we just wanted to get that out there.
I just want to quickly mention, I've been trying to show you real quick here, but if you'll go to Pages and then View All Pages, there are several different homepage templates that are already built into our master template that we are sharing out and using and encouraging everyone to use. The default homepage has lockers on it. There's already ones that are created, for English, math, music, nutrition, wellness, physical education, reading, science, technology. Basically, the only difference is the images have been changed, so the lockers are no longer there. Of course, you're more than willing and more than able to go out and find other images and replace them as well, but these just give you some nice placeholder templates if you don't have a lot of time to go out and try to find images that might be more appropriate for what you teach, but these are already built into the template. So just take a look and view all pages, and they're there. And to change the front page, you see how our front page is already selected. All you have to do is use these three dots over on the far right and say use as front page. And that will make one of these other templates your front page section. Quick and easy way to quickly change it up if you're tired of looking at lockers.
The good thing about the template, guys, is it is, when imported into your course, it supports you with not having just a blank, empty hull of a course. So you would have to create every bit of this. So it goes ahead and gives you like the skeletal structure of your course to be able to help you in that aspect. And there was another thing that I wanted to get to say about, there was a question about Zoom and Google Meet. We are not trying to actually tie your hands when it comes to using resources, but at the same time, guys, we're trying to look at the student and the parent and understand, okay, if I'm learning Google Meet with one teacher and then I'm turning around and having to learn Zoom with another teacher, it's just not fair to the parent and the grandparent that is having to learn all this stuff and teaching. I have a high school student that, she was having to learn Google Classroom and Canvas at the same time, and it was overwhelming for her to switch back between the actual learning management systems. And so there's always a positive thought in what we're considering when we're narrowing down resources and apps for you guys to use. It's not to harm you in any way or try to police what you're doing, but it is taking into consideration the parents and the students during the remote learning.
Cole, can you do me a favor? Can you go ahead into, this is going to answer your question, Christine. You're relinking a button. So if you will do me can you go into the edit screen of the homepage? And I'll just walk you through, Cole, what I'll show her. So if you go to the edit screen.
Yeah, it's catching up.
Oh, yeah, no, you're fine. So Christine Simino has asked, she has copied her About Teacher. Actually, you know what, Cole? Let's go to one of our sandboxes because it will have the About Teacher button, and I'll just talk it through. So Christine was having a question about, she's copied material over to her other courses. And when she copied it over, when anybody copies anything over into one course to another, you may have to do two things. You may have to go into view all pages to find it. And then if you're linking it to a button that is already existing, you'll have to relink the button. So what Cole has done, we pulled up one of our sandbox courses, so it looks very similar to yours. When you are in edit mode on the home page, there's that About Teacher button. So if you click once on the About Teacher button, it's going to turn blue. And then you're going to, I think we're going to scroll down to the bottom, or you may.
I had to shrink the size of the text to make it fit. Yeah.
Okay.
It should
So
pop up here.
Yep. And then we're going to go over to pages, and you're going to find, what we found with Christine, it says About Your Teacher -2. So for us, Cole, we're just going to hit the About Teacher page that sits right there. So he's going to click on the About Teacher at the top, and it's going to turn yellow. The button will turn yellow once clicked, and then you'll scroll down to the bottom and hit save. So the linking of new pages, so once you copy everything from one course to another, there's going to be some cleanup work that you'll have to do in relinking buttons to what you want it to be. So just keep that in mind as you are copying courses for different preps that you have. So for Christine, she teaches more than one grade level of the same content area, so she wants to use that whole copy option. Are there any other questions inside the chat that we need to answer? Or does anybody have any pressing questions while we are on the line? Because we don't want to keep you. We want you to enjoy the rest of your week until the Q&A session on Thursday.
Looks pretty clear for questions, Lise.
All right. Well, we hope you guys have a great day. Before you exit this meet, please make sure you either go into announcements to get that attendance form. I will go ahead and put attendance right here for you just in case. But we hope you have a great day.
Thanks, guys.